welcome again. So, this entire journey in this text is a dialogue between the master and the student, seeker. The seeker, he is a perfect seeker. He is a king. He manages the entire kingdom. And at the same time, he is a seeker. So you see that we should get rid of that idea that, oh, I'm busy, I've been doing this work, can I meditate? So that question is unfounded. In any state, if you are a human being, you can. So, the seeker wanted to confirm. He has read all the text, he has done practices with the many masters, so he understands the importance. So, in the first chapter, he asks how the dispassion can be attained. So, dispassion is in the middle, discernment is the first step. So both are included. Second, how the knowledge of the real self can be attained. Knowledge of the reality, knowledge of who am I. But if my mind is totally obsessed with to eat, drink, and be merry, I will not ask this question that who am I? There is no need. No, I know. I have a wonderful student who has been doing the private sessions. So recently it happened that he had some engagement and he wrote to me that, do you see that I have already explained my engagement, I am so busy. So let us drop and we will meet in the future. So I know. I don't say anything. Why should I say? Are you a seeker? No. So there is no need to say anything. So our tradition is totally different in that respect. And the third question is, in the first chapter, is how the freedom can be attained. I enjoy the freedom in eat, drink, and be merry. So I'm not seeking any other kind of a freedom. So that is why that is the answer of question Stephen asked. That why not many people join? No need. Because my perception of happiness is outside. I don't want to listen anything. That is it. So then there is no journey. So that is why our tradition says, are you a seeker? So in the first chapter, this master explains to a seeker that here is the real self, which is self-existent, independent of anything outside in the world. It is pure consciousness. So because he is the highest seeker, in the second chapter, he explained just by listening what happened to him, how he gained his experiences. But the master doesn't leave him. He says he talks about the third chapter. He raises lot of doubt. Knowledge is knowledge, truth is truth. Whether you raise 100 doubts or you don't have any doubt. So the third chapter, the Astavakra wanted to testify. He is the master. So in the fourth chapter, then we come, fourth chapter again. The master explains, this is the way. This is what happens. Your perception of the world outside changes. One example. the waves in the water. When the water is calm, where the wave has gone? Where the waves have gone. We see the shape in the size of a tumbler made from the glass. So you break the tumbler. Where the shape of the tumbler has gone, does it really exist or it appears to exist? That is the main point to contemplate and reflect. Why I said so? I see this house is built in the space, demolished in the space. So where this shape and the size of the house has gone? Because it did not exist in the first instant, it appears to exist, and what appears to exist is not truth, is not the real self. Majority of you are married, even single. So now where is the husband in a man? Where is the wife in women? So when we go deeper, we understand this name and the form has created the entire world. Are you getting it? Name in the form. Name in the form. Girish, Stephen, Sam, Ashok, Samir, Brandy. Name in the form has created the world. Go a little deeper. What is behind the name and the form? It is the same matter. In the body, it is the same carbohydrate, protein, amino acids, fat, some minerals. Have you seen the kids, when they go to sea beach, through the sand, they create lot of shapes and sizes. And the water wave comes, gone. That is what is body. So when we identify with the body, then we suffer. So he concluded in the 4th chapter that in order to experience or discover the real self, we have to go behind our perception. Perception doesn't only, I'm not talking the perception through the eyes. Whenever you open your eyes, you see the name and the form. Perception deep inside, guided by the discernment and dispassion. You are aware that this world of the name and the form appears, disappears, appear and disappear. Hence, this is false. False does not mean that you say, okay, now I'm done with you. So you are creating another falsehood. So then in the 5th chapter, this master explains at a very higher level there are 4 methods. First method, in the first verse, a complete dispassion awakens. He says when you are living in a complete dispassion inside, then what happens? Your mind goes out with all the sense organs, but you are aware. That is what the perception is. You maintain an awareness of what? Not me and mine. Not attached. Attachment is building a relationship. In the second, he says, when you see the entire world is nothing but The waves appear and disappear. Just take an example, 150 years, my forefathers, one wave disappeared. Then my parents appeared, disappeared. Now this guy appeared, disappeared. What is behind this appearance and disappearance is real self. So that is what in the second verse, if you live into that state of awareness, then you are able to see the reality. And that reality, we already know it. I have been asking that question. You should ask that question to yourself at least a couple of times every day. Do you love peace? Yes. Why? Because peace is my nature. So whenever you are in stress, first thing to ask that, do you love stress? No. So drop all the thoughts related to the stress first. That is the way. Now we understood that in the first method is a complete dispassion. When we were born, for at least 2 or 3 years, we live in complete dispassion. What is the result? That's why we are spontaneous. The kids are very spontaneous, natural. We forget that. How we forget? Go back. Start learning. Me and mine has come. That me and mine is nothing but attachment. So the first method is complete dispassion. Second is perception. I must change the perception, this word. Now the third method, in the third verse, he says the highest discernment leads to dispassion and dispassion leads to awakening. Whether you can start the journey with dispassion, whether you analyze the cause and effect of the world. There is a tumbler. What is the cause of the tumbler? What is the cause of the shape and the size? Does this shape and the size is inherent in the glass? No. See that. Does the shape and the size of this body is inherent in the protein? Fat? Fact. We are not talking of any imagination, hallucination. We are talking of the facts. Does this body really dies? Take an example that, this body died. What happens? In any tradition, you burn it or you bury it. They go into the earth. Have you heard about nitrogen cycle, phosphorus cycle, oxygen cycle from the science? So the bone here has created a phosphorus cycle, and who knows, the phosphorus here or the will go into another living being. So we are not the children of only one physical parents. In this body, more than 40 more people has contributed, and this cycle continues. So am I this cycle or not? Answer is no. So you go by any philosophy. Cause and effect. That was the second. So in the third now, he says discernment. So what he says? Even I see different names in form. Even I see the blueness of a sky. even if I see the waves in the water, even if I see the world, beautiful world of name and the form and different labels, when we investigate, when we perceive clearly, we inquire the real nature of the universe. And behind that universe, the cause is the real self. And that real self is pure consciousness. That is the ultimate result of meditation. So, ultimate, highest discernment leads to awakening to our true nature. Ask the next question. Do you know and practice discernment 24/7? If we practice discernment 24/7 or in a waking state, you will be a different person the next day. What is that different person? You wake up in calmness. Now it is 10 p.m. You will sleep in calmness. Discernment. This is what we understood by the discernment. Discernment does not destroy the world. Because it is false, it appears and disappears. Discernment gives you a clarity of perception. What is that clarity? I filtered out. That is neighbor's house. This is my house. I have been repeating it. That is false and this is me. Do you stop driving? You are driving on a highways and your eyes perceive the trees are moving behind, the highways is moving. Do you stop driving? Do you have any allergy to the highways? Oh, no, I see that, highways are moving when I'm driving. No. You put the false in its own place. You do not allow the false to distort your perception. Then what happens? That real self comes in front in the mind. It lives there and you are in peace and happiness. This is what the real object of meditation. The false is still seen. The blueness of the sky is still seen. Blueness of a sky is still seen. What is left? The reality is left. And what is that reality? That reality is peace and happiness. This is what the Master is saying. You see that? I have told you a couple of times, so let me again repeat you. There was a great master. Yajnavalkya. We have to yet to start this Upanishad learning in our Mondays and Thursdays session. They are the cream, the gem of the teaching. But we are preparing ourselves. So Yajnavalkya was a great master. He contributed great literature. Perhaps those people who know or who are teachers in the field of yoga, Yajnavalkya contributed the Eightfold Path, and from there the Patanjali explained this sutra. Anyhow, he was lucky he had 2 wives. In our literature, to make you understand, one woman had 5 husbands also in our literature. The message is different. So, they are more, I would say, the symbolic. So, don't go by the standard in the world. So, Yajnavalkya had 2 wives, Maitreyi and Gargi. He was a minister in the king, and he was He had a tremendous recognition, he had a tremendous wealth. After 20 years, Yajnavalkya was a master, so he was awakened. He wanted to reaffirm that the state I'm living is testified, validated by our teachings. So he called both his wives. He said, here is a wealth. I have divided half, and half goes to you, Gargi, and half goes to Maitreyi. 2 wives. What is discernment? I'm talking about what is discernment. In every activity of life, I should allow the discernment to work. So anyhow, Gargi was very happy. She was guided, eat, drink, and be merry. She said that at least, now I have a liberty to spend the wealth as I like. Now, you see where the discernment starts? Maitreyi started thinking in her mind that how my honey wants to leave the kingdom and wants to go to the forest. For what? He owns everything. He has recognition like Bill Gates. He has everything. He has the wealth. But why? Where he is going? And he is wise. He is not insane that, he just, took a decision to go into the forest. This starts the discernment. I'm living my life. Okay. According to the social standard, I'm married, I have kids, I have a good job. That is what we don't think about. I have everything. Question is, do I have a total peace and happiness in my life? Maitreyi, the second wife, she gave the entire wealth without asking her husband to the first wife, Gargi. You see the discernment? What is that discernment? That when my husband, who is so wise, who is guiding the king, is leaving the entire wealth, it means he is in search of something greater than what he already possesses. There is something greater than my body. There is something greater than my breath, my mind, my perception, my knowledge. You see the process of discernment. So third method, he said the highest level of discernment can lead you to awakening here and now. You are suffering, you apply discernment, so what will happen? It will become suffering yoga. Now you are applying yoga. Understand that point. You are in anxiety, you apply discernment, it becomes anxiety yoga. And when you have added yoga, you know that you will get rid of it. So ultimately, there is a long dialogue, and that is recorded in the Yajnavalkya Smriti. The text is known as a long text. Why you are leaving? You have everything. The Maitreyi asked, because now Maitreyi is asking a question. You have everything. Why you are leaving? Why you have divided and gave us the wealth? So highest level of discernment has to be there. It must start with a question. It should not start with a blind belief. I don't want to name, but yes, I will go. I'll narrate a real life story. So I had a very humble house in Delhi in those days. So so I had one student who has a very good center in India, very good in terms of the wealth. So whose father was a billionaire. So who came and to pay respect that, yes, sir, you guided my daughter, so how much money I can give you. I'm telling you the true story. I said that everything is okay, but go back to your house and find out how much extra you have. From that extra, I will take a pie out of it. I've already told you he's a billionaire. Now he is no more. So he returned after a week. He was very thoughtful because you cannot be a billionaire if you don't have an intellect. You know how to earn the wealth, how to accumulate it. So he was very honest. He said, I contemplated and reflected, and my mind says I don't have any extra penny. So I said, then you are a beggar. How can you pay me? You don't have anything. What is this? I'm extremely attached to the wealth. We know, in our profession, we understand. We have also undergone the same process of the mind, same thing. Someday I was also feeling, why should I give you? Not now. I said, no, you are a beggar. You cannot pay me. And it is better not to pay. So you understand, when you question that I am attached to the wealth, but the wealth is not attached to me. That is the main point. I am attached to the body, but body is not attached to me. Body will leave me one day. It's one-way traffic. And that one-way traffic causes a lot of problem and the challenges in my life. I am not seeking the truth. I am attached to one shape, one label. Go back. The world is nothing but world is world of name and the form. Name, form. The form is not permanent. Name is not permanent. Waves are not permanent. Blueness of the sky is not permanent. The shape and the size of a tumbler is not permanent. Shape and size of this body is not permanent. So what is permanent is that consciousness. So once I live into that perception, you live into that perception even for 1 hour. Your mind will say, where is the anxiety? Where is the stress? Where is the duality? But I have to think. I have given you an idea and understanding how the Maitreyi started thinking. Gargi was also thinking. Gargi said, thank you. Thank you, Maitreyi. You have given your wealth also to me. See the ways of thinking. Last point is very important. The entire Eastern wisdom gives you a knowledge how to think properly to reach to a discernment, and that discernment leads you to awakening. It changes the way you think. The thinking gives you the sense of attachment. The thinking gives you the discernment. My master used to say, vichar, those people who have uh, met my master. So he used to say, in Hindi it is known as vichar. Swami Lakshman Das Tulsi. So he used to say vichar, vichar, vichar. So if I do not think inside what exactly is the goal or purpose of my life, second is that how to attain that goal of my life is to live into that permanent peace and happiness. How to attain that? To attain that, I have to become a seeker, discernment, dispassion. And the moment we start thinking in a direction our masters are saying, there is no problem in life. I believe I made something clear to you. If I did not make clear to you, then you are not thinking. What should I? So that is another answer to the Stephen question. So let us start our practice. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. Are you aware of the body? Dispassion. Are you aware of the body? Body is steady. You are simply aware the body is steady. Why? We just want a discernment. So I'm thinking for you, and you are into that state of discernment. Body is steady, yes. So you see that there is a subtle discernment here. Unsteady body and steady body. But it doesn't mean that that will help me to reach to the highest level of discernment. It's a long journey ahead. Is body steady? Am I aware of the steadiness in the body? Yes. Are my eyes closed? Yes. They are gently closed. You see the discernment at every point. That we don't pick up. Why? Because we are so much habitual. And if you are habitual, then instinctive, impulsive, then discernment is lost. We are not doing any practice. So, is mind looking inside? Discernment again. Discernment means separating. So is mind looking outside or inside? So I just made a statement. Is the mind looking inside? Means what? If it is looking outside, you become aware and you start looking inside. Doing nothing. While looking inside, do you want to destroy the other thoughts that forces you to look outside? If yes, you have yet to become a seeker. You have to do nothing. Do you want to destroy the blueness of a sky? No. I want to see the reality. Do you want to destroy the waves? No. We normally say this entire world is the world of name and the form. So should you destroy the world of name and the form to find the reality? No. I'm hitting your intellect to know what the discernment is. You separate. It's a neighbor's house, it is my house. Should I destroy that? Should I force my eyes not to see there? No. It appears to exist. It is not. So in that state, what happens? There may be millions of thoughts. You stick to only one thought. Is the mind looking inside? You see the way the thinking goes. You are driving your car on the highways. Do you need to focus on all the other cars running on the highways? No. We are digging deep into the discernment. So when that happens, the body will continue to be steady. That is what I observe. Do you see that? Body remains steady, eyes remain closed, and mind keep looking inside. Maitreyi and Gargi, two wives. I gave that example. In the third method, can I live in extraordinary awareness, discerning for clarity? What will happen in clarity? I will live into a higher level of self-awareness. Higher level of awareness will drop all that appears but not true. Is there any special way to see the water in the waves? No. One sees the waves and the seeker sees the water. That is the only difference. Well, I still use that, but we will see in the light of discernment, looking at the neck joint, because I have to start with some reference. So, neck joint. Is there any discernment? You see how the intellect works when you start growing into a seeker? Yes, it is also a discernment with reference to the other organs of the body. What? Yes. So what happens in that state of discernment? You have an intense feeling and awareness of the neck joint, and then sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Then go deeper. You find the space, darkness, or emptiness. You are the seer. The neck joint is the seen. This is another important attribute of discernment. What is that? I am a knower. If known is not there, how can I be a knower? I am a seer. If the seen is not there, how can I be a seer? So neck joint is seen, known, object. I am not an object. I cannot be the neck joint. I am the knower of a neck joint. You see that. When you are a knower, you separate yourself from the known. And when you separate yourself from the known, instantly you live in extraordinary awareness. Now you can see that I always use the word being comfortable almost in every session, in every practice of meditation. So only the seeker can know it. Shoulder joints. Object, you see it, you feel it, you are aware of it, so that you is the knower. Can you separate at this stage? Check it. You are the highest level of seeker, no problem. Experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. You experience. Who is this you experiencer? Can you see that experiencer is you? Experiences sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So here also you can do the discernment. I forget it. I had a lot of thoughts. No issue. What is after sensation, comfort, and steadiness? There is a space. Are you aware of the space? Yes. Are you? Who is this you? Is the seer, knower, and the space is an object. That is another way to discern. And normally we say, okay, I will sit every day for 1 hour for discernment. No! It is an ongoing practice. 24/7. The entire body, awareness of the body. Awareness of the body means what? You are aware of the body. Who is this you? Is the knower. So we have a principle coined by our great master. Whatever is known by the mind is different and separate from you. So there are two things. One is the known by the mind, other is the knower of that. Oh, I know the body? Yes, body is known. I am the knower. You see the discernment? Discernment is in between. I was talking the other day that in that discernment the Guru is present. That is why you love, adore, and respect Guru. And then we go to discernment at another level of being carefree. I have been talking about it. I told you that being comfortable, being carefree, being casual. 3C. I always use in every meditation. So we are using with reference to discernment. Carefree. You are contemplating. Oh, carefree means free from cares. Okay, is somebody caring me? Yes. Mind. How? By thoughts. This mind is unsatisfied even having everything in our life. Wealth, possession, etc., etc. That is the reason it is constantly running and we have an influx of thoughts. Unsatisfied. In desperation. So what is that desperation? Mind is running outside to seek happiness. What we are saying? It is inside. How it can be in the waves. How it can be in the blueness of a sky. How that happiness can be in any name and the form. What is that name and the form? Husband, wife, son, daughter, honey, go on. They are the name and the form. Like tumbler. You break it. Glass. It appears as a tumbler. Water only. It appears as a wave. So any thought that enters into the mind means it is seeking happiness outside. So we tell the mind, continue your journey. I am inside. Do you see the discernment? That is normally explained as let the thoughts come, let it go. See that point? First thing to be clear, the ignorance is removed by knowledge. How many breathing practices I should do to know your name? So action and the knowledge, they have a different path. Ignorance can only be removed by knowledge. That is what we are doing by practice of discernment. So-called practice. It is not a practice. So now you are clear, discernment, thoughts are coming and going. I think previously I explained nothing happens to the television screen, but we are affected by the movie that is running in the screen. See how weak we are. TV screen is not affected. You see the movie with the crime, with the pleasure, with attachment, with etc., etc. Nothing happens to the TV. But everything starts happening to us. There is only one screen in the entire cosmos, that is consciousness. On that screen, the drama in the world continues. I believe you get it. We are discerning the drama that is continuing with the name and the form, pain and pleasure, and behind that, like the TV screen, nothing happens to that. That is what the real self is. Discernment. Again comes the discernment, separating. In the beginning, you remain in that state to be absorbed into the meditation, and after that, in all your activities, you live into that discernment. I believe it makes sense. Discernment, separating the world. Now go a little deeper. We say what is real self is independent, never changing, self-existent. Go back to the false. How do we recognize false? Constantly changing identity. It depends, it is dependent on something. It is not independent. Blueness of the sky depends on the sky. Depends on the real. Yes. Waves without water, no existence. So waves depends on the water. Does water depends on waves? No. Does sky depends on blueness? No. Does the tumbler depends on the glass? Yes, the glass does not depend on the tumbler. His real self depends on anything, the body, breath, mind, intellect, wealth, no wealth, honey, no honey. No. You see, another level of discernment makes it very clear. Why we discern? so that we have a false notion that I am the body, I am the mind, that I am the honey, that I am the son, that I am the daughter, etc., etc. Go ahead. That I am the rich, I am poor. Sometimes we have guilt, so I am bad, I am good. They are all ways. If you don't realize, don't start acting, that will become another falsehood. Let the change come from inside. When you wake up in the morning, you are doing the practice regularly. You wake up in the morning and, oh, you see how calm, beautiful the world of appearance is. And that is appearing on the real self. The blueness is appearing on the sky. The waves appears in the water. The body, breath, mind, intellect, ego, thoughts, feelings, sensation, pain, pleasure, duality, conflict is all a drama that appear and disappear. On the real self is the highest discernment that awakens. Any trigger in the body, the mind, in terms of thoughts, feeling, is an association. You are carried away by them, means you are carried away by the movie you are watching on a television. You lost awareness of the TV screen. Do you see? Difference between ignorance and wisdom. That is why we say discernment. So Buddha, when he said awareness of the breath, he doesn't mean the focus on the breath. He only meant that look at the breath, it is constantly changing. And what is changing cannot be you. You exist in spite of this breath. Keep looking at the breath. Just casually you are looking at the breath. So what is discernment? Here, breath is changing. So what is changing cannot be me. What? But I exist because of the breath. No. I exist because of the real self. I am real self. I am the existence. That is, or you can say, the peak discernment. You cannot say the water exists because of the waves. Waves are constantly moving. You look at, see that. That was the meaning. And for that is why Buddha said practice meditation as a seventh-fold path, not the first six. First six is the journey to become the seeker. So what you have to do? Nothing. Your identification has broken with the world of name and the form. So you are always calm, restful. Third method is dissolve falls by discernment from moment to moment. Means what? You are in meditation. The time you wake up until you fall into unconscious sleep. Now compare the false notion people have. How many hours you practice meditation? You don't practice, you live in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it in your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. How are you, Brandy?
I'm pretty good. I realized when you said that if you're involved with your thoughts and like the feelings in your body, you're getting carried away with what's on the TV screen. And I'm kind of in a place where I'm having to be extra discerning. That I had that realization then, and things leveled out. So
Beautiful,
good.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. How are you, Vaibhav?
So I'm calm. It's like that whenever I use the dispassion, it feels like that my mind gets reset. Now it's totally blank. And then something comes and then I put the dispassion and it's totally blank. Again it is blank. So it was very peaceful.
That's good. In the beginning, we will find that sense of a blankness, and after that, the world will continue as it is. You cannot change the world. We have already changed our perception to the world. Very good. So how are you, Sam? Meeting after, I think, 2 more sessions, yes.
I'm good. It was. I like the Saturdays because they kind of serve the purpose that I've been trying to do during my day, which is, you talked about the guru last week. I feel like now, when something happens in my life that's difficult, or I'm assessing more, and I'm noticing just the guru takes a split second, and then I make a decision based on the discernment and dispassion. So I like these because I think it helps train that muscle.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, even when we remember that Guru is there. I used to visualize my master. You are there, then why to worry? You are there, why to go into anxiety and stress? So it takes time. And after some time you reach to that. So how are you, Stephen?
I'm very good. My experience this morning was one of extreme peace.
Good.
I was just very peaceful within my heart center. I had no thoughts. Very calm. I did notice, which was interesting, in when you brought up the Buddha and the breathing. I did notice that my breathing was at times irregular, and not in a bad way. Sometimes it was a lot of quick breaths, and then other times I found myself actually gasping for air because I wasn't actually breathing.
Yeah.
And when you pointed out the Buddha part, I was like, okay, I'm not following my breath. I now recognized that, there's something else was going on inside me. So.
Yes, beautiful experience. You see that? You discern. All the sense organs are open to the world. Mind is active and aware and alert. In that moment, you see everything is changing. Body, mind, breath, perception is changing. So behind that is the real self. I exist because of that real self. I do not exist because of the breath. That we only are aware during the waking state. In sleep state, even I'm not aware of the breath. Do you see that I'm not aware of the breath and still I exist? It's a different matter. We sleeping and gone. No, that's a different matter. But that too is pertaining to the body. So by the discernment, the intellect is 100% settled into that awareness. How are you, Terry? My friend? Your lips are moving, but we don't hear your noise. No, we don't hear your sound. Why should I say noise? No problem. How are you, Christina? In the meantime, let her return.
Thank you for that. I enjoy every session with you, of course, but Saturdays are definitely a personal, different journey, I feel like, for all of us, of just contemplating of what our week was like, I feel, maybe. So, and I've been having some, just my leg has been falling asleep for a couple weeks now every time in meditation, and so that's been pulling me out, but having the dispassion of, oh no, I just got pulled out because of my legs asleep, and being able to come right back to it is a really beautiful experience. So thank you for
That's good.
helping us
That's
with
a
that.
sign of the progress. How are you, Terry?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I hit the wrong button.
I can make out you're smiling.
I really liked I really liked the talk. It was the ideas, the explanation of the how the body is like the waves, and the temporary.
Good.
That
Good.
was helpful to me to hear. I couldn't quite get myself to settle down in the practice, but it helped me. I was moving in that direction.
Yeah. That is wonderful. That is beautiful. That is how the discernment works. In discernment, we need not to do anything. We simply, that is a part of awareness. Everything is moving, movie is going on the TV, but the TV is different from the movie. I am different from the changes. The moment we have that awareness, that is also known as choiceless awareness. We will deal with later. How are you, Ashok?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir. I could hear the pleasing voice of your honey. Yes.
Sir, it was a good experience today, and I was applying discernment
Yeah.
and try to become sakshi.
That is what is
Applying
discernment.
discernment.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that is, I was applying that. That is good.
That is,
Progressive.
yeah, progressing.